Hi folks, I'm going through various samples of avocados, attempts to prevent enzymatic browning. They were left overnight from around midnight to right now it's about 1:30 in the afternoon the next day. Moving through the samples, they're not laid out in any particular order. I'm going to start off with the one left out plain. Here you can see that it's definitely gone through browning. Looking at the color, the discoloration, the actual browning itself, we can also tell because the avocado has hardened. It's not so soft as when it was first cut in half. Enzymatic browning is what occurs when enzymes present throughout the food are exposed to oxygen, which the two first parts here are put together cause the browning, enzymatic browning. Looking at the second sample here is a frozen sample. Enzymatic browning was still able to occur because enzymes were exposed to oxygen, but it was in such a delayed format that this may as well be 5 minutes old, or the amount of time left out is insignificant because it was placed in the freezer right away. So browning still occurred, but it was grossly delayed by the cold temperature. I think it's still frozen, but that's irrelevant because the color is still largely fresh. Looking at the wrapped one, I will say that my attempt to wrap wasn't as successful as I was hoping for a dramatic make on this video, but nonetheless, look at how, I don't know if you can see or how well you can see this, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it is still soft as it was when first cut. You may recall from the first sample that was left out plain, with nothing done to it, no alteration, that it was hard. I will say that there was a limited degree of the success in preventing browning, because if you look at the two, this has obviously been a little bit mangled from me manipulating how soft it was. As compared to the first one, it's still fairly solid and a little bit darker in its browning. It's definitely gone through more degradation. The wrapping serves to remove oxygen from the equation, so you still have enzymes unaltered, but oxygen isn't as able to reach the avocado slice as if it were left out plain. So you have one part of the equation that's been reduced in capability, so browning did not occur as much as it would have with left out plain. Looking at our final sample here, this one was doused in lemon juice, the top surface of it was. If I could do it again, I would have probably covered the entire half of this entire hemisphere of the avocado, but I still think I've got a good case here. If you'll notice the pit, it still has a pool of lemon juice. Yes, it still has a pool of lemon juice, and the pit is still relatively yellow, as compared to the pit of the one left out plain. It's definitely seen some browning. The pit here is hard. The pit here is still soft. Let me get a good grip. Yeah. So, and well, actually the surface isn't that hard either. This is still undergone browning, but not to the degree of the left out plain one, because the acidity of the lemon juice destroyed, or rather partially destroyed, the enzymes present that would, if left unaltered, have caused enzymatic browning to the same degree as occurred here. So, although it's not as greenish and yellowish as it could have been if I had done it better, or if it was frozen, the browning is still reduced as compared to over here, I would argue, as well as the meat of the avocado is in its more original state. It is still soft as opposed to hard and dried out. Whether or not that's because of the moisture leaving the avocado or because of browning, it's hard to say. But I still feel that the center pit here, as compared to this left out plain sample, proves the point that acidity killed off enough enzymes to make a noticeable difference. I did not include blanching in this sample. I only had 2 avocados handy, but blanching, that is when you put, in this case, an avocado half inside of boiling water for enough time to kill off enzymes and then immerse in cold water. If you would have left it out overnight, you would probably see something very similar to the frozen sample. Not so much the lemon sample, because I still feel like oxygen may have been able to infiltrate through the skin and possibly through the cracks here, maybe around this point here that I didn't consider or really have access to. But basically, blanching would have destroyed enzymes, prevented one part of the equation from being at full power, and you would have had preservation because browning wouldn't have happened. Thanks, folks.